Hello everyone and welcome to Cineful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the Grey. Today's video we're going to talk start collecting Warhammer Age of Sigmar, and today we're going to take a look at the Thunderstrike Spearhead box. This is one of the many Battleforces coming out for the Warhammer Age of Sigmar game this Christmas from Games Workshop. Now, in this video, we're going to go through, talk about all the models that come out inside this box set, and then we'll take a look at some other units we can use to expand upon this initial purchase. Finally, we'll finish off the video with a little sample army list of 1500 points for you to use as some inspiration for starting your own Stormcast Eternals army using the Thunderstrike Spearhead box set. And so, first of all, we have the Knight Relictor as our hero option inside the box set. This is a cheaper option of the Priest of the Lord Relictor. Now, the Knight Relictor does have a few unique abilities to him that he's going to be able to bring to the table. His Relic Sensor, each time a friendly Stormcast Eternals unit hold within 12 inch of him is affected by a prayer or the abilities of an invocation, you can roll a dice. On a 4+, you can ignore the effects of that prayer or that invocation's ability. So he's able to stop your opponent using invocation and prayers on your own units. He's then got 3 attacks at 3/3s, roll 1 damage 2 in combat. We then get 2 Stormdrake Guard inside this box set, and these can be built as Stormdrake Guard themselves, or they can also be built as one of them as a Knight Draconis. Now, the Knight Draconis is a really good model to bring to the table. First of all, Stormdrake Guard become Battleline, not the single one you would otherwise get in this box set though, but any units of 2 or more would become Battleline. He's got 11 wounds and a 3-up save. He's got his Aeon Fire Blade with 5 attacks, 3s 2, Rend 3, damage 2. And he's got some cool abilities where his Arcane Heritage, each time he's affected by a spell, he can ignore it on a 4+. He does mortal wounds when he breathes fire on people. He gets a ability to do once per battle. He can make a shooting attack. And Dragged into the Tempest allows him to do mortal wounds at the end of combat as well. A lot of this is pretty similar for the Stormdrake Guard. They've got a lot of the same abilities. They obviously drop his big, cool, fiery blade, and they gain either lances or swords, which have differing effects depending on how you want to go about them. Now, we then get 10 Vanquishers. These are a pure Battleline unit for the Stormcast Eternals. You can make 2 units of 5 Vanquishers out of this box set, meaning you've got enough Battleline to play up to 1500 points straight out of the box. 2 wounds each and a 4-up save. They have the ability to rally on a 5+ rather than 6 as long as they've got the Musician in the unit, and their Lightning Strikes ability allows you to add 1 to the attacks characteristic of their Celestial Greatswords if they're fighting models in a unit with more than 5 models, or if 2 attacks extra if they're fighting 10 or more models in an enemy unit. Now, moving on to the other 2 units that come into the box set. The first one is Annihilators. Annihilators can be built as 2 different variations, either with the shields for a 2-up armor save, or they can go the Meteoric Grandhammers. They'll have a 3-up armor save, but their attack will be much better with 3 attacks at 3s 2s, Rend 2, damage 3. Now lastly, we have a unit of Vigilors. This can be built as either 2 units of 5 or a unit of 10, whatever you want to do. 2 wounds each, 4-up save. They've got their Stormcaller bows, which are 2 attacks, 3s 3s, Rend 1, damage 1, with an 18-inch range. Their big ability is the Navigator to the Storm, where in the shooting phase, if any wounds were caused by attacks made with this unit's Stormcaller bows, and they're allocated to an enemy unit, you can add 1 to hit rolls for attacks that target that unit until the end of their turn. The same unit cannot be affected by this ability more than once, so this generally means, 2 units of 5 is a good go, but 1 unit of 10 can still split its attacks and be a little bit more survivable, able to sort of spread those attacks around. You are needing to get wounds through with this unit though to get that ability off. Now, looking at where we can go next with the army, and the first one I want to talk about is the Stormstrike Chariot. 12 wounds and a 3-up save. It's got a variety of different attacks, and you also subtract 1 from hit rolls for attacks that target this unit in a turn it made a charge. The Zero Unleash allows when you make a charge, you roll a number of dice equal to the charge, and for every 4+, you'll do a mortal wound to the unit that you charged. The other unit next to them we're going to look at is the Vindictors. These are another baseline unit. Now, where your Vanquishers generally fight hordes, Vindictors are much more resolute in how they fight. You've got a 3+ save and 2 wounds each, and they also do mortal wounds when they roll a 6 to hit with their spears. The other model here is a Knight Judicator. This actually unlocks the Vigilors as Battleline for you. The Knight Judicator is, as his name might suggest, a ranged hero option for you. It comes along with his 2 Gryph-hound companions, which is really nice. The first time you set up, you can place them, and these give him, a few extra attacks and some other support. But you then also get the Gaze of Sigmar. Once per game in your shooting phase, you can say he'll draw upon the Gaze of Sigmar. You pick a point on the battlefield within 30 inch and roll a dice for each enemy unit within 6 inches of that point. On a 4+, that unit will suffer D3 mortal wounds. On top of this, his Terminus Greatbow has 2 attacks at a 30-inch range, 3s, 2s, Rend 3, damage 3. Lastly, Protectors. These are one of the so-called old cast models. Now, they are really good. A base 2-up save so long as I've got more models, or at least half the models in the units, with the Protector Glaives, and they've got 5 attacks each with a 3-inch range. They generally are 3s and 3s to hit and wound, and then they've got Rend 2, damage 1 on the attacks. Pretty survivable and can get a decent amount of attacks out of a relatively small amount of models. And so here we have our sample army list. Now we've gone for Hammers of Sigmar with the Signs of the Storm. This is the type of Stormcast that can drop down out of the sky. And Hammers of Sigmar, we get a 6-up ward so long as we're wholly within 12 inch of an objective on the tabletop. Now we've gone the grand strategy, no place for the weak, trying to destroy our opponent's battle line units, and our triumph will be inspired for +1 wound. Now, Knight Draconis is going to be our general. He's got the command trait Master of the Celestial Menagerie. This means he will be -1 to wound. He's then also got the Mirror Shield, meaning he can't be targeted by a ranged attack in the shooting phase unless that unit targeting him is within 9 inch. His mount trait Celestial Instincts as well will give him the ability to retreat and charge, or retreat and shoot, in the same turn. We then have the Knight Relictor in there with the Prayer Translocation, a nice teleporting of prayer for the army. Now, battle line, we have 2 units of 5 Vanquishers. Now, they are a Redeemer unit, so we've gone for the Holy Command Call for Aid to be able to bring one of them back once per game. And our other units, we've got 2 units of 5 Vigilors. I like splitting the Vigilors up in this case. This enables us to put them on different sides of the battlefield, getting that +1 to hit, hopefully, on different units at the same time. 3 Annihilators in there as well. We're going with the shield variation. Unfortunately, we just don't have quite enough points. You can probably find it if you drop something down in some points some other place. But I do like the shield Annihilators myself. A single Storm Drake Guard fits in there thanks to the Knight Draconis. You can only ever take the single if you've taken the Knight Draconis. And then a Stormstrike Chariot as well. A bunch of these things are wrapped up in a battle regiment, and then we've got a few other spare units, meaning we are going to be 3 drops for the army. 1495, 5 points under, not a good chance to get that triumph, but 87 wounds is pretty decent. If you've got some ideas on how to run this box set with your Stormcast Eternals, let us know down in the comments below. And so that's the end of the video. We hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And while you're at it, why don't you drop a comment down below letting us know what you enjoyed about the video. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our little community here at Sinful Gaming, you can do so by joining our Discord server, which is linked down in the video's description. Also linked down in the video's description are the best ways to help support the channel, which is our Patreon and YouTube members. As Patreon and YouTube members, you'll get to help decide what content the channel focuses on when we're not focusing on new releases, and you'll also get your name shouted out at the end of the video. So a special thanks to all our Patreons: Christian Weir, Soren, Kenny Lyle, Outer Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, The Rising Ape, Cure Dynamic, Anthony B, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Bloobs, Benjamin Suarez, Redman, Aaron DeHaven, and Kevin Bowman. And to our YouTube members as well: Green Roots Gaming, Kenton Young, Ronya, Lock, The Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Revenar, Pink Nico Fire, Robin Man Killer, Monty's Tabletop Terrain, John Castle, Davis Weir, and James South. Lastly, if you'd also like to help support the channel in another way, you can do so by grabbing some channel merch off either our Teespring store or off our Ko-fi store, both of which, as well as the Patreon and YouTube members, are linked in the video's description. Once again, thank you all for watching. Stay safe, everyone. Stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. Ciao for now.